Okay, in this math video, we're going to be looking at finding 50 and more on the hundreds grid. So it looks like this on the front, and then on the back, you have the clocks, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing in this math video, finding 50 and more on the hundreds grid. Okay, question number 1 says, how many days have you been in school? Obviously, I don't have my calendar with me here, but if I remember correctly, our last time we did our calendar, we were at 78 days, and then Friday would have been 79, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to say 80 days, okay? So we've been in school 80 days. I know technically we're not in school right now, but we're still having school, so we're going to say 80 days, okay? So for the sake of this worksheet, we're going to say we have been in school 80 days. So for number 1, put 80. Okay, and we can count to 80 different ways. We can count to 80 by tens. So let's do that. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We can also count to 80 by twos. So let's do that. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78, 80. We can also count to twos by ones. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 30, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. And one more way we can count to 80 is by fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Okay, so we've been in school 80 days. Number 2 says color in 50 squares. So on your chart, you're going to color in 50 squares. I'm going to let you know that there's 100 squares on this chart. If you want to go ahead and count them, feel free to do so, but I'm just going to let you know that there's 100 squares on the chart. So to color in 50, you can either color in the entire top half. So from here up, you can color in the bottom half. You can color in just the right side, just the left side. You can do diagonals, match diagonals. You could even do, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like color rows and skip every other row. However you want to do it. There's different ways to, obviously you can get 50 squares. If you just want to color in 50 random squares, go for it. So just color in 50 squares. Personally, I think it'd be easiest just to, color in either the top half or something like that. But however you want to color in 50 squares, so you're going to color in, on the hundreds chart, color in 50 squares. Okay, once you get your 50 squares, number 3 says, how many more squares do you need to color to equal the number of days you have been in school? Well, we said we have been in school for 80 days. We colored in, oh, please don't die on me. 80 days. Okay, let's switch back to the black one. We said we've been in school for 80 days. And we colored in how many? Colored in 50. So the easiest way to figure out how many more would be to subtract, okay? So we're going to, for forget about the 8 and the 5 for a second. Okay, so 0 minus 0 is 0. Now forget about your zeros. 8 minus 5 is 3. So how many more squares would you need to color in to get to 50? It would be 30. So for number 3, you're going to write 30. Okay, number 4 says write 2 or 3 equations to equal a number of days you have been in school. You can write more if you want. I'm going to help you come up with some examples. You can use my examples. You can come up with your own. But give me 2 or 3 equations, 4, 5, 6, how many you want to give me, to equal the number of days we've been in school. So we're going to equal, we need them to equal 80, okay? So I know the first one most of you want to write down is 80 plus 0 equals 80. I know that's what popped into your minds first. So if you want to do that one, go for it. 80 plus 0 equals 80. And yes, I know the next one that came to your mind was 80 minus 0 equals 80. Okay, you could do that one. Okay, if we want to give ourselves a challenge, okay? So let's challenge ourselves. Let's start with, okay, we're going to count by tens, okay? So let's start with 40. Okay, and we're going to add to equal 80, okay? So we're already at 40. So 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We added how many? 40. So 40 plus 40 equals 80. Okay, let's do 100 minus equals 80, okay? So let's start with 80 and count to 100. Ready? 80, 90, 100. So we added 20. So 100 minus 20 equals 80. Let's do 50 plus equals 80. So let's start with 50 and count to 80. Ready? 50, 60, 70, 80. We added 30 more. So 50 plus 30 equals 80. And yes, I know one of you probably thought of this one. 79 plus 1 equals 80. Okay, so whichever combination of those, you can use those, don't use those. Just give me 2 or 3 equations or more if you wish that show 80, okay? That equal 80. Okay, let's flip it over and let's look at the clocks. Okay, so we're going to read each of the clock's face and then write the time, okay? Remember we said we have a shorthand and a longhand, okay? The shorthand always tells us the hour, and the longhand tells us the minutes, okay? So if we look at all 6 of these clocks, the longhand is all pointing to the 12. So each of the long hands is pointing to the 12, so we know that we're going to be in the top of the hour, which is hopefully you remember, the o'clock, right? So it's like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Okay, so to write that, it's always 0, 0. Okay, so now that's easy, right? We've got 6 clocks. We know they're all going to end with 0, 0. So now we just have to figure out what hour we're in. Okay, let's look at the first one. So the shorthand tells us the hour, and in this first one, the shorthand is pointing to the 8. So the first clock is 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Okay, the one in the middle and the top, the shorthand is pointing at the 2. So we have 2 o'clock. Okay, last one on the top row, the shorthand's pointing at the 5. So we have 5 o'clock. Okay, first one on the bottom row, the shorthand is pointing at the 9. So we have 9 o'clock. Okay, the middle one on the bottom, both hands are pointing at the 12, but we already took care of the long hand and know it's the top of the hour, the o'clock. So now we just have to do the short hand, so the short hand's pointing also at the 12, so it's 12 o'clock. And then our last clock is pointing at the 7, so 7 o'clock. So there is our times on the clock. 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. So we have all this time, right? And how many hours do we have in a day? Anybody remember? If you said 24 hours in a day, you would be right. Okay, so we have 24 hours in a day to get things done, right? 24 hours to eat. We can eat during that 24 hours. We sleep during that 24 hours. Monday through Friday, we go to school during that 24 hours. We probably play during that 24 hours. Maybe you even watch some TV, play video games, play outside. Maybe you read a book. And all those are great things to do during the 24 hours, right? But something that a lot of us, especially on Christmas time, it gets super busy and we're rushing and we're trying to get ready for Christmas, or we're trying to, decorate the tree, and we're wrapping presents or buying presents or making Christmas cookies, and we're doing all sorts of things that are super fun at Christmas time. And we think, oh, there's just not so much time in a day. Have you ever said that? Or your parents ever said that? Oh, we just don't have enough time in a day to get stuff done. Well, God gave us 24 hours, right? So that was a gift that he gives us, right? He gives us each day, and each day is a gift from God to us. So what can we give to God during a 24-hour period to thank him for his gift to us, the gift of a new day? We can give God some of our time, right? We can pray, we can read our Bibles, thank God for things he's given us. So during our hustle and bustle and our running around and, playing and going to school and eating and sleeping and, talking to your friends and whatever we do during our 24 hours, we need to stop and remember to give God part of our 24 hours, okay? He doesn't ask for all of our 24 hours, but he does want to be remembered. If your parents ran around all day and they went to work, they fed themselves, they slept, your parents did all this stuff, but they didn't once talk to you at all during the day, how would you feel? You'd feel kind of sad, right? Sad and lonely. You might think, well, they're mad at me. What did I do? Or you'd feel rejected. So we wouldn't like to be ignored by our parents or by our friends or by each other. So we shouldn't ignore God, right? So especially all year long, but especially at Christmas time, where we're thinking about hopefully remembering more about Jesus and his birth and God and what he gave to us when he sent his son as a baby, that we stop and give God some of our time, some of that 24 hours that he gives us. Let's remember to give part of that time back to God, okay? So that was the Finding 50 and more on the hundreds grid and the clocks on the back, okay? So if you need any help with any of this, or you're stuck or confused, feel free to ask me and I'd be happy to help you. And don't forget to give God some of your time.